fashion, entertainment, and sports. We bring our guests every other day to x-ray this topical issue, but today we are taking a departure. All our in-house presenters are here on set to do justice to trending stories across the nation. My name is Macaulay Honohashi. With me in the studios are our two beautiful presenters and our smart gentleman. I'll start by my right. I call her Adorable. Adorable Beauty, you're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Mark. Good morning, viewers. I am Beauty Akbarido. I welcome you to the program this morning, and I hope you enjoy as we speak.
Next to her is Miss Delectable. You can see the infectious smile on her face, as usual, our usual anchor.
Good morning, viewers. You're welcome to Daybreak Africa. My name is Elizabeth Samsedi. Stay tuned, please.
The smartest guy of us all on set is Mr. Kisha. Kisha, very shy but outspoken. Kisha, you're welcome to.
Good morning. Good morning,
Oh, Kisha, are you shy?
I'm not.
Are you
morning,
sure?
viewers. I'm good.
Kisha said he's good.
Yeah, I'm good. So it's good to be here this
It's
morning.
good to be
Yes.
here.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the trending story across the globe is, of course, the World Cup. And I believe everyone is watching. And we're so excited that African teams are making us proud, particularly Ghana. They have remained unseen, and Ghana has remained. They lost their opening match, but they have gone ahead to win their second match. I can see, Elizabeth, you're already beaming with smile and chuckling already. You're excited about Ghana.
Yes, I am. I'm excited not just about Ghana. I'm excited about Senegal, and I'm excited about the World Cup.
Generally.
Okay.
Yeah, generally, because
Nigeria is missing.
the other day,
in the global arena.
Yeah, the other day, my son's a friend came over to the house and saw me like concentrating. Said, "Ma, you are watching football, and Josh, your son, doesn't like football." I said, "I don't watch football. I watch World Cup."
Interesting.
Yes, I watch World Cup. I watch the Olympics. Those are
Okay.
the only times that I dedicate time, and I tell you, I've been having so much fun. With all the matches, live matches, Brazil here, Argentina there, Senegal, Mexico, England. A lot of my favorite teams are there playing. Yeah.
But
So
the
I've been
interesting
having a lot
thing
of
about
fun.
football is that whether you are a fan or not, it's such an interesting game to play, to watch, I mean.
Well,
Is
to some
that
people,
what you
to
feel?
some people,
Because
I
for me
don't think.
personally, I never watched football.
Right.
Really?
I never watched football in my life.
Wow.
Yeah, I never watched football. When you see me watching football, something must have taken me, or an assignment actually pushed me to really get to know what happens with it. And when I'm done with it, I just get the report, either come on air to give the report and get back home with the same me, not having the report in my system.
But Kisha, research has shown that football is the most potent unifying platform.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Obviously.
I watch wrestling. Right
I watch wrestling
right
too.
from when I was
I
a
watch
kid.
wrestling,
I
yeah.
watched wrestling up till yesterday.
Yes.
So that has been my kind of sport, and also I watch basketball.
Okay.
Yeah, I have other clubs that I follow within and outside the country where you get to be happy about this too. Yeah, not just the football.
But Mr. Mark, rating football as the most unifying, I think I agree with you.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
It is.
I would agree, and it's kind of amazing to hear, rather that
Strange,
Kisha,
really.
right?
Yeah,
I would say amazing.
Leaving the aspect of being the unifying tool around the world, beyond that, most people have to watch this match because it's a betting platform where you win millions. People became, millionaires in dollars, pounds, euro over the night as a result of the football match.
Yes.
So when you hear a season coming out this way, people are getting ready to win so much, and it's getting bigger every day for them. I think that is what is really making it big, and not just really.
Bettors also use wrestling to bet.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They do
Tennis,
that.
other sporting.
Yeah, I think that's one of the avenues where they just expand the scope of the sports. Anywhere you find yourself, if you're really basic, you define your sport and this is what you want to do and how you can expand it. This thing is through betting. I love what she was saying. The sport development in Nigeria, actually gave us a backseat you know, to really sit and be watching and be talking about other clubs in the world, and most especially in Africa as well. I remember when we faced Black Stars of Ghana in Nigeria.
That's our potent rival.
Yeah, it was like, it's been like that. If you don't have Ghana, you have Nigeria. If you don't have Ghana, you have. But this time around, for the past few years, we are talking about even the basketball. You know, the crisis in basketball for the past, right from 2017 up till today, they've not been able to say, okay, this is what we really want to achieve with us. So it's just so challenging.
Okay. You know, I think the Football Federation should really like put in more and put in more effort in as far as sports rather in the country is concerned, because you know, I remember USA '94. Yeah, then I was young young lady.
USA '94, yeah.
Yes, and it was fun, and if you say football is a unifier, I agree, because everybody that I know then loves football, and for the fact that Nigeria were, you know, participating and representing well, it's made it even more fun.
Exactly.
You know, like me personally, when Nigeria as a team, a football team, started dropping, it discouraged me from watching football. Yes, that's me personally.
And when Nigeria is not part of the tournament, you don't seem to.
Yes. So it's just that act of the love that I already have for World Cups, and that's why you see me
watch World Cup.
Yes, but all these Premier Leagues, I don't watch leagues.
Backstage, you were talking about your excitement over the performance of Mbappe, the French player.
The young man I learned is about 24.
Yeah, he's 24.
Right?
24,
according to, he has broken a record. He has matched up Pele's record. Yes, I think Pele did that.
The famous Pele of Brazil.
Pele of Brazil. At 24, Pele had already had his 7 goals, World Cup goals, and Mbappe has met that. He has met Pele on 7 goals as World Cup goals already at 24, and people are wondering by the time he's 30, they don't know what what other records he's going to break.
You're right.
Well, some other young people will be looking up to beating his own records.
Exactly. That's right. That's right.
You're right.
Then also I learned that Lionel Messi also has met up with Ronaldo. Right. You know, there's this rivalry between Ronaldo and Messi.
All rivalry.
Yeah, and their fans also. So Messi
has feel this. It's all over you.
Excitement all over her. And
I'm actually excited that I'm excited because it's actually not really me, but I've been catching a lot of fun watching football this season.
Assuming Nigeria was part of the World Cup,
it would have been more exciting.
Oh yeah, it would have been more exciting.
And there's this story behind Mbappe, you know, that many people, most Nigerians are aware of, particularly football pundits. Right. Mbappe, you know, is originally a Cameroonian. You know, he was born and brought up in Cameroon, but one thing that has been the bane of African football happened to Mbappe. That's why he's playing for the French national team.
Yeah.
His father took him to the football academy in Cameroon, but the coaches demanded for money, which he couldn't afford because his father was a very, very poor man. And then luckily, a scout came from Europe, took him to France after seeing his performance, and then enrolled him in school in the academy in France. He became a citizen. Today, look at his performance. And Africans are excited.
Right.
Africans are excited about this.
And one thing I've observed in this year's World Cup, you have a lot of youngsters,
lots
19,
of them.
A lot of young men, young boys
playing.
Look at look at the Mexican players, the Argentine, the English players, even the United States young men. Okay, and that's one thing that I noticed lack in Nigeria. in Nigeria, most players are very matured. So I don't know the criteria that upon which they use. But I think the best way in picking these players is going to the streets. Going to the streets and watch them play and pick them from there. Not politics. They politicize the sports industry.
Even most time you hear people saying politics and football don't go, sports don't go. I think that is what happened. Not because they have a much grown-up men in the team, but it's as a result of not letting the young stars get into the national team. I heard you talking about Sadio Mane.
Yeah, Sadio Mane.
And these are guys that when you read about them, you'll be amazed. They are humble beginning.
How they started.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now there's this remarkable statement from Sadio Mane. He said when he remembered where he comes from and how his community waits for him to feed them. So the only way he can feed or take care of his family is to make sure that for every match he push in a goal so he can put smile on the people back home.
Talking about smile, Elizabeth will be at the crossroads today because our favorite guy, Mbappe, his country is meeting according to the fixtures today.
Yeah.
Tunisia is an African country. They are playing, and then France. They're meeting France at 4 p.m. So I don't know which of the teams you will be supporting.
Well, let's wait.
You'll be at the crossroads.
No, he definitely support the team. Probably will be playing from. Not
really. As far as Nigeria is not playing, I always say the best team should win.
Yeah.
Even if the Nigeria is playing, it still have to be the best team.
And at 4 p.m., according to the fixtures, Australia is meeting Denmark at 4 p.m. today. Poland is locking horns with Argentina at 8 p.m. today. Also today at 8 p.m., Saudi Arabia versus Mexico. And then tomorrow, December 1st, will be Croatia versus Belgium at 4 p.m. And, simultaneously, Canada is taking on Morocco. And then it will be followed at 8 p.m. by Japan versus Spain, another big team. And then Croatia is also tackling Denmark at 4 p.m.
Okay.
And South Korea, Portugal will be 2nd of December at 4 p.m. Our own Ghana, that is making us proud in Africa, our worst rival. Ghana and Cameroon has been Nigerians rivals all these years.
Yes, right.
Ghana is meeting Uruguay at 4 p.m. day after tomorrow, that's 2nd of December. And then the last match of the day is Cameroon versus almighty Brazil.
Nice one. I'm actually very proud of Cameroon, Ghana, Senegal.
Well, looking at these features you just gave now, I don't know if my prediction will work so well. Okay. You talk about Canada and Morocco. I think Morocco will lead because Canada recently, we saw them rising to a particular point, but I think at this point in time they would not be able to make it strong the way it's supposed to be. We may not have enough time to get into it to check their pedigree, how the journey has been so far. And Cameroonians, with Brazil, it's going to be a big one.
It's going to be, it's going to be a tough one.
What can you wager? Can you wager? Can you wager?
Oh my! I would have predicted for Cameroon against Brazil, but well, I don't know.
Anything can happen because this is World Cup.
When you say anything can happen, do you know that a lot of standards have been set, or rather broken?
You remember Argentina versus Saudi Arabia?
Right. Yeah.
Saudi Arabia stunned, to the amazement.
So gone are the days.
They've not been anywhere. It has to do with
no big names. When you look at the Argentinian team, you have the likes of Lionel Messi, world-class.
Gone are the days
when you have Di Maria, but he was stunned by Saudi Arabia.
Oh yeah. Oh Brazil. Gone are those days. You just see a small team, a small nation.
So this time around is more surprising.
But it's really sad that Qatar, the host country, are like as good as out of the competition.
They should be
Qatar is not a football nation.
Yeah, it's not a football nation.
They wanted to just host.
They should be happy that they are hosts.
They were given the hosting rights about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And Qatar spent over $300 billion.
And there was a controversy even after they have been approved, giving approval to host people. There were a lot of doubts if
there were doubts.
If they were going to be able to but they have
nation.
done well so far. Well. They've done extremely well. And do you know there's a stadium, a mobile stadium amongst the stadium, a collapsible stadium that is in Qatar right now. And according to, they said it's the first time FIFA has used it, and after Qatar, after the World Cup, it will be collapsed and taken to stage. When I saw that, I marveled. I was like, wow.
Qatar is a wealthy nation.
Yeah,
it's an oil-rich country, and they are serious. Their leadership is serious.
But so
there's no democracy in that country. It's a monarchy.
But when I look at the Middle East, oil producing, and Nigeria, we are oil producing.
Corruption has
it's sad what we see here, what we have here, and what we see among those other oil producing countries.
They have vision. We lack vision. They have vision, and they follow their vision to the latter.
Would you say we don't have vision?
We don't have vision. Who is the visionary leader that we have?
Lack of concern.
Our leaders
we used to have vision
visionless.
during the regional government. We had vision. See, the stadium, Sir Ahmad Bello's of Sadona of blessed memory, built in Kaduna. No governor has built that kind of stadium till today, and he built that stadium in the 60s. I went to Ahmad Bello University, Zaria. That school, all the streets are dualized and paved. He built it in the 60s. No governor has built 1/10 of that kind of school today. If you go to NTA across the country, no governor or government has replicated any studio as to the level of that of their standard. If you go to Kaduna, the guy was from Sokoto, Sadona of Blessed Memory from Sokoto.
Right.
Every development he took it to Kaduna. There was no nepotism in his life. He never took it to. So it's corruption. It is corruption and lack of vision. Viewers, on that note, we are going to enter our, topical issues, trending stories across the broad spectrum of media platforms in the country. When you flip your television or you on your radio, and you go through social media, all the stories are trending. Beyond politics, so many stories are making rounds. And Kisha, that reminds me of the story I read about NDLA.
Okay.
When General Abuba Mawa retired, was appointed Director General of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, so much was happening. Drug barons were having a field day, and Nigeria was not only a transit country for drugs, it was a consumption country for drugs. But today, the difference is so clear. Every day you read the newspaper, you go on social media, there are so many arrests being made. Drug barons are behind bars, and they are being taken to court. And I understand that you also have a kind of relationship with drug what do you call them? Drug addicts.
Drug addicts.
The effort is to bring them out, to talk to them, bring them out of their own bad habit to the society that will make them better.
I love is what I love doing. Now, there's a reason why I had to push myself into that place, that environment. I don't look like them, I don't think like them, but when I see them, I know there would have been better people in the society. And something I do different from what the law enforcement agency can actually do, like I mentioned earlier on. You don't arrest and detain a drug addict. I don't know if you understand that.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, you don't arrest and detain them. Drug addict needs help, needs care, need to understand, okay, this is what is going wrong with me. Now, if you arrest, like what most policemen do, I don't know if there are some police around Jabi watching this program. Some of them will actually know my face when we are talking about this. When I talked to them one-on-one and said, this is not the right way to handle a drug addict. When you get someone, you arrest them, you detain them. When they are out from that place, they get worse. They get deeper into it because already they've been tortured, and they're going to look for a stronger drugs to make them, get over the torture received. So when you ask them, I was in Lagos, I had interaction with them, asked questions. How did you get to this point? And you get to hear things like, oh, I came from a particular state to Lagos to see if I can get better. and things just turned out. I don't know how I got to where I am. And when stories like that comes up, you figure out what is really happening. I have a lot of them now that if you come around my house, you see, this is the brother, this is the, so if you come around and I say, this is my brother, this is my brother, we're not biological brothers. These are the guys I met from that point, and I brought them closer to myself, and they love taking.
But sorry, Kisha, your
you sounded like...
Yeah, have you ever, at a point in your life, been
like a drug addict? Are you
no, I haven't. Something happened.
Why that?
No,
why?
Did you see the way Elizabeth looked at you?
No, it's passion.
Yeah, let me tell you what happened. You know, the society, Nigeria presents you with opportunity to become good or to become bad. You choose what to be.
Absolutely.
I had an opportunity to become a terrible and a bad guy. That I should. But when I got there, it was an open door because I understand where I'm coming from. No, I got there and I saw like, okay, this guy is here. Why are you here? I needed to, where I get to drop my suit somewhere and dress like them, get in there so I will be accepted.
You have access.
Yeah, have access.
Yeah, unfettered.
Yeah, no matter how you preach this to them, you can be on studio, you can be on TV, you can be on radio. If you don't really calm down your mind and yourself, to have access to them, it won't bring out the result you're looking out for. So I got there, I get to find out. Now there's this striking story that I'm still feeling a bit terrible in my heart. A few months back, I met a young man in one of the places. This guy stayed in the bush, some of the bushes around, that is where they stay. And I was opportune to have one of them talk to by the street, and he gave me the address where they stay. And I arrived there. It was raining, but they were there. Okay. I arrived there with snacks, drinks, and we sat down, we had a talk, and two of them asked, okay, can they be my brothers? I said, yeah. So you could see, and one of them said something, he said, thank you for coming. We are looking for a better life, and we know that no better thing follows us to the bush where we are here. For you to come all the way to this point, that means there's a purpose.
Wow.
They were sane enough to tell you that.
Yeah, they were. And this guy that was talking, as I'm talking to you, he's married. He's with two twins. As I'm talking to you now, he has a job now at Gwarimpa where he drives. He has Okada now where he drives there. So this time, there's no time again to get back. But there's this other guy called Abraham from Bayelsa. He introduced himself, but there was no opportunity for me to get to know him more. Where he said, okay, he's 32 years and all his life. To answer the name Abraham, which means that you came from a Christian home. Yeah. And he left Bayelsa State with a lady who has a child for him, but they've not been able to talk for a while because he got to Abuja to see how he can get better than to take care of them back home. So I met him like in September. We talked, and I brought him to church. He became born again, and 2 weeks later, he died.
Wow.
Now, the painful aspect of it is that the family back home will be thinking that their son is out there, is doing well. Because I was not opportune to know his community, to know where he's coming from.
So there was no contact.
There was no contact left. And one thing with these guys is that within themselves, they don't know where they come from.
Oh, sad.
They only have things in common with what they eat, what they drink, what they smoke, what they take. That is what the relationship they have. They don't know if you're coming from, if you're coming from Anambra State, good, maybe you speak Igbo, you speak Hausa, you speak Tiv and the rest. They understand that. But to know that they can trace you, your full name, they don't have that.
So they are united in addiction.
They are united in addiction.
Kisha has just told us about the passion. One of the passions that he has and he's pursuing. Elizabeth, I'm sure you must also have some other things. When you're not in the studio, there are things you do. Because studio is not the beginning and the end of your life. Like me, there are things I also do when I'm not in the studio. There are things I do. I'm a businessman. I do my media stuff out there, and so every one of us has one of the things. By the grace of God, I run a foundation, and the key, what we do, is family. Okay, we look out for the family. We advocate for the family because
You are from a family. So am I. Each and every one of, just like,
it's an institution.
We all came from, we have our origin where we came from, and whether we like it or not, the civilization starts from the home. Starts from that family, and every child that is brought into this world, this addicts that you talk about, they are people's children. They missed along the way. They missed it somehow, either by their own choices or decisions, or by the choices that were made by their parents, or out of their parents' carelessness, or environment, society, peer group, friends, influence.
So many factors.
Many factors are involved. So that's basically why we are focusing on the family, because we believe that is where the society begins from. It begins from the family. Unfortunately, yes, I have a passion for these same people, this category of people, those in addiction. Many times, at times it's not their fault. At times they don't plan it. It's something they just venture into. Out of even peer pressure. Okay, let's just try it. It begins, like when I have worked with NDLEA at some point. And when I interviewed them, they said, it begins with, let me just give it a trial. Only once. It starts from there. Then from then, another time you will want to give it another shot. From there, you become a regular. Before you start getting into addiction and all that. So,
and one of the things, sometimes some of these drug addicts, when you see them, they look humble.
Yes.
They look gentle.
Most times they're humble.
They look calm.
They look calm. So I get to talk with some of them that are looking that way. Now the issue here is that they have something bothering them. They couldn't talk to anybody. They need something something to take to sleep over it, so they can have their mind rest to think on what to do next. So the only thing they could think of is, okay, just take something that can make you sleep.
That's
and
where
that
the mistake.
That is the drug.
Yes.
Now, when you take that, you would definitely, it will give you the sleep. You sleep so well.
But when it wears off.
Yeah, when it weighs up, you are still in that trouble. You are still going to take that same thing, you sleep.
Yes.
Now, the evil aspect of it is that once you are done taking it, that very one, maybe it was 0.5. You are done taking it, it gave you the sound sleep. Now the thing generates much pressure in you.
After a while, 0.5 will not work again.
You're going to take something bigger to get better. You're going to get better with something bigger and not something that is smaller than what you took first of all. So you find yourself in taking this. Now, there's a way you can actually, you don't even need to get to the thing where they are. There are some of them that I see on the street, because I've been with them for like 7 years now. There are some people, when you see them in a motor park, by the time you say hi, good afternoon, you know that is what they are into. So by the time you talk to somebody, and of course, you cannot just, I went to a particular place, it's so annoying and it's so, it's not a good idea where you get to see uniform people drop their uniform, walk in and get the drugs and be part of this, taking it. It's so annoying.
It's so annoying. Kisha, I think this drug issue is a very, very huge topic. And it can be endless when we continue.
Right.
Let's go into other trending stories a little bit. So much is happening.
Yeah.
So much is happening in the country.
There is this news today that 90% of Boko Haram's, 90% of die-hard Boko Haram fighters dead. Government declares.
90%.
So when they say 90%,
where is the statistics?
No, what I that is not very clear with me there is die hard. So which ones are the die hard and which ones are not the die hard? Because we've seen several times when these same people, their leaders, which I assume they are the die hard, okay. If a leader is not a diehard, then who else will be a diehard that have been set free?
You know of Bello Turji. Bello Turji. He's a leader. He's the leader in the Sokoto axis.
Okay.
who was once arrested. He came in his military uniform with AK-47 and was talking with Masari, the governor of Katsina State. If you remember that picture that trended. The man, he refused to surrender. He went back to the village. And it's the same guy that was confined with traditional title that created an uproar across the country. He's still there in the forest, you know, giving them serious headache.
And apart from their leaders being the diehard, even members can
That's what I'm trying to say. When they say they are diehard.
Do you know Jonathan confirmed that his government had been infiltrated by Boko Haram? They were ministers.
He did. And they were blaming him that he was one of their
exactly.
sponsors.
So he has left how many years now?
Right.
Till death, the thing has exacerbated.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I was going to say something, Lizzie. One of the things I saw here is Nigerians are good. They are good in giving us what to talk about.
Yes, what to talk about.
Most times when we have all these stories,
it's diversionary.
It's diversionary, right?
It is.
So we are not going to talk about
the
what
major
we
issues.
go through. We are going to talk about what they want us to talk about. Because if you look at it, it doesn't make any sense. From the first day you become a Boko Haram, you're a die-hard Boko Haram.
As far as I'm concerned,
once you're
made
taught,
a decision.
Exactly.
you make a decision on that, you are in it. But the question now is, we also saw there's a headline also where the repented Boko Haram wives, they gave birth to how many children?
Yes. They are also Boko Haram, potential Boko Haram.
So every time, get to the street of Abuja, you see some young guys who, they are not smiling.
They come in trailers.
They come in trailers and they don't speak English, yet they are doing business. You guys don't communicate.
You don't communicate.
When you say something, maybe you're selling something for 10 naira, and he said, okay, this thing is 10 naira. You say, I think pricing is allowed in Nigeria. Say, okay, do you take 5 naira? He gets angry because he doesn't understand what you are saying.
Yeah.
And the next thing is fight.
It's a huge challenge.
It's a huge challenge. So there are basically a lot of things that Nigeria really needs to.
So, Mr. Max, also trending is the budget padding. What do you have to say about that?
What do I have to say about budget padding?
What do we have to say about that?
What do you have to say?
What do you know? Where do you understand by budget padding?
Budget padding. What else can it be than padding, adding, and
padding beauty to me. Padding can be likened to what Elizabeth is wearing has been padded on her shoulders.
And what I'm wearing.
What is wearing to us has been padded.
Yes.
So now, in the same vein, every year it is incumbent on the federal government, that is the executive, to present the next year's budget. You know, and budget is a proposal.
Yeah.
And the executive will fashion it out, design it, craft it, and then decide on the benchmark and take it to the National Assembly. The two chambers of the National Assembly will take a look at it through their committees and then work on it, if need be, make some adjustments, additions, and subtractions, and then take it back to the executive for the president's assent. To append the signature, it becomes a working, physical document for the next year's fiscal year. So, in relation to the issues you raised that is trending, it has become a tradition at the National Assembly for legislators to pad. Padding simply means illegal additions of monies.
But did I hear you say a tradition? It has become
like a tradition because every year, the executive will present a budget. They will not look at the budget and return it back the way it was presented to them. They must add something to it. There was this case I remember vividly of the Mumini Jibrin from Kiru Bebeji constituency in Kano State, who added over 3 billion naira for his own constituency. I know the suspicion there is that when the budget is passed, they have a way of collecting those monies or taking those monies through constituency projects. And they bring their cronies as contractors, the people are paid, the jobs will not be executed, but the money has disappeared into private pockets. That's why there is serious concern by people who care about this budget padding, by the National Assembly every year.
But this is the height of corruption.
Yeah, it is the height of
corruption.
And it has become a recurring decimal in this country. Every year the president, the executive will present a budget, they will pad the budget.
But that is the culture where we find ourselves.
Yeah, it is.
I think we've been talking about corruption, and sometimes when you hear a lot of countries that they are also having corruption issues to deal with, but they always have a reference point, which is Nigeria. We look at from when the former president, the Senate president, talking about David Mark.
David Mark, yes.
David Mark, when he was the Senate president, then Ike Ekweremadu was also, for the 12 years in power, it was like every year it was padded.
The budget was padded.
The budget for the 12 years. Then you ask yourself, if you want to stop it now, how do you go about stopping it? Because the man who was a senator back then, he's in power now. You can't stop him from padding.
You can't stop him.
Because this is, all they say is, this is my turn now to pad. What is the essence, what is the importance of padding? Why are you padding the budget? What are your plans like? Now, there's no clarity with some of the budget figures we also have. There's no accountability. There's no transparency. All we see is just what they want us to see. And at the end of the day, what happened to the budget within the year? Nobody cares to know. We are already focusing on the next budget.
We're focusing on the
next year budget. We had the 2023 budget presented. Where are we going to get the money? Somebody's talking about borrowing money to finance the budget.
Okay.
You know.
The Ukraine war, Russia-Ukraine war. You know, there's this story that is trending that weapons are finding their ways.
President Buhari said that the Russian-Ukraine war, weapons being smuggled to Lake Chad.
And that Lake Chad is the gateway to Nigeria. Do you know that Boko Haram has taken over the Lake Chad basin? And we have a joint task force. And the president has said right down to that story, one of the newspapers said, so far in the last 6 years, how many $1 billion have been spent?
It says call for tighter border security. Then it says tasks regional force to end terrorism.
And the third right
military expresses commitment to operations. Nigeria spends over $209 million.
Joint military task force.
Yes, in 6 years.
That money was expended to fund the regional joint forces because Nigeria, Cameroon, and Chad have contributed armed forces.
Only Nigeria has spent over $209 million.
US dollars. That's mind-boggling.
There's something I want to say there. You look at Cameroon, Chad, and Nigeria. Nigeria seems to be vulnerable much more than Cameroon.
Yes.
Now, if you're going to Cameroon, you're going into Cameroon, probably maybe you take like from Cross River State. There are so many routes anyway into, you're going from Cross River State into Cameroon. The security you have in Cameroon, nothing on earth breaks that security. So where everyone is being scanned, you are scanned, you need to present your identity to know where you're coming from, who you are, what is your mission, why are you coming into the Cameroon as is, what do you really want to achieve?
What's your business?
What's your business? What is your pedigree? They want to know your personality. And of course, they can't do it without any official identification, you know, that you present to them. And sometimes, even if you present that, is subject to review. If they say no, you can't go in. I'm talking about Cameroon. So, but in Nigeria, the case is not this. I was there. I saw what happens. I saw how the process to which you can actually take into the country. And if by mistake you get into the country, there are some places in that country you can't step in.
I'm from Adamawa State. We trek to Cameroon.
All right.
Okay.
We trek to Cameroon.
Very
we trek to
yes.
There's a town called Bugula.
All right.
And Marwa. Our people from Yola, they trek.
Most of them, right?
Yes, they even come to our markets and live. They come by speedboats.
Right.
You know, this river Benue passes through our state. You know, down to Lokoja to the Atlantic.
All right.
But the question is, why are borders so porous? And it seems, why does it seem as if the governments are not doing anything? They have no intention of doing anything about it.
They can compromise anything for pecuniary reasons.
I can't get it.
Lisbeth, as we are sitting down here discussing this morning, get to Lagos semi-border. If you get to semi-border, you can stay there from morning till night. It will be difficult for you to cross that border, semi-border, into them. But come back to the north. You can walk in and it's free entry, free exit. So that is what we are talking about.
No, honestly, it's very heartbreaking.
It is heartbreaking.
And that is what has made the country, made us so vulnerable to these terrorists. Because they have free access, free movement in and out of the country.
Well, but before you, I think Lizzie was going to say something.
Exactly.
Go ahead, please.
I actually wanted to ask every one of us, but Lizzie directly.
Oh, you say
Yeah.
what is on your mind first.
Yes. What I have on my mind is it's actually about INEC offices that are being burnt across.
They are being attacked.
Are being attacked.
Okay. Yes, it's trending.
Yeah.
There's no day.
All states in the country, like in Nigeria generally. I don't know. You know, it's crazy. It's sad. Could it be that there are hidden agenda to all these attacks, or what?
So, see, if you ask me, these attacks are happening where? In a particular region of the country, southeast.
Majorly.
Southeast.
Yes.
So there are people who are bent on frustrating the 2023 general elections, particularly the presidential election, to my mind. I'm a free citizen.
You have a right to your opinion.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So there are people who are bent on frustrating it. The IPOB, their leader who is in detention, Mazin Namdekanu, has not come out to tell them to sheath their swords. The Monday sit at home that has become,
Namdekanu had never given them the go-ahead to violence. He never did.
They are alluding that decision to him. So, and he has never come out to be. He's still their leader.
I remember there was a day he came, one of those times he was in court, he told them to stop.
He told them to stop.
Yeah, even the Monday sit at home.
You need to understand the people. There's a way you can actually train your followers to the level where you can. There are some things you can stop them, and there are some people there are commanders under him as well. Now, is the responsibility of the federal government not to take fire for fire, because if you take fire for fire, you don't live in the southeast, you live in Abuja, and if you are giving order to the military or to the police at the southeast there, how they should handle that issue is going to affect so many things, business and everything in southeast. Now I'm just thinking, if the court has given a, can we try something different? Can we try something different? Something like, okay, there's a verdict from the court, there's a court judgment, release Nnamdi Kanu. They are holding him back, say, okay, he's a threat to 2023 general election. They want for safety, for security reasons, and things are not getting better.
They are not getting
Can you think and say, okay, what can we do different? Differently from what we are used to? This kind of things, I think is something that we should be looking at, because corruption is just the subject matter of all these stories coming out every day and night. And of course, we saw the judgment, the judgment passed on the IGP, talking about the Inspector General of Police. Yeah, the court has sentenced him to 3 months in prison, and he said he was not aware of the court. And last night he also came up to seek consultation.
That story is also trending.
Yeah, it's trending. Yeah, that is a trend. That is a trend. It's the most trending story. So he's also seeking legal advice regarding the imprisonment.
But how can someone be sentenced in absentia? The man was sentenced in absentia. He was not in court. He was not represented.
He said he never respect the court.
He was
rule,
sentenced for contempt.
Yeah, the contempt, because he's been invited to the court several times without him appearing. So I think that is what the Constitution.
I think our leaders have a penchant of disrespecting court orders.
Yes, they do.
They do have a penchant.
And you know why? Because we set aside the Constitution.
Yes.
The rule of law. Nobody wants to obey the rule of law.
Oh, definitely. The rule of law is neglected in Nigeria.
The law is not made for them. It's made for the ordinary Nigerians.
Yeah, I think that's why, to an extent, I would agree with what one of our speakers said some time ago, that we have two Nigeria. Nigeria for the conquered and
the conqueror.
And the conquerors.
I remember.
Nigeria for the conquered people and for the conquerors.
Yeah.
Well, it's so disturbing. Okay, we also saw Tinubu story.
Okay.
Where a lot of stories coming out that Tinubu said when he becomes the president of Nigeria, he's going to move the federal capital back to Lagos. And of course, we have another story coming out to say there's nothing.
Yes. See, Kisha, this is the time for propaganda.
Definitely.
But he can't single-handedly do that. He can't just.
No, there's a process.
Yes.
No, there's a process, but
it's a damaging story coming from the quarters of the opposition.
Right.
And people are appointed and kept to do those things. I've done that before. At the subnational level.
And don't,
okay, there was even a story yesterday
where
he was shown a picture story, himself and Joe Biden, in the Oval Office. And the story was that he has surreptitiously left the country to go to America, and he was conferring with the President of the United States of America, Joe Biden. And Bayo Onanuga, the head of media of the Tinubu Campaign Council, came out to debunk that story. So these are stories that are done. And they are well crafted to change perception.
That's right.
It's just the purpose is to just perceive, because elections are coming. So it can swing your thinking, it can swing your vote, either way, And the job of a media handler is to make his principal look good before the eye of the public, and make his opponent look bad before the eye of the public. I think that is why.
Okay,
and we're here to see the end of this kind
Let me give us a little clarity on the IGP 3 months
sentence.
Yes. Okay, the Inspector General of Police, IGP Usman Baba, has reacted to the order of the Federal High Court in Abuja on Tuesday, sentencing him, the IG, to 3 months in prison for flouting a 2011 court order. The IGP committal followed a suit that was filed by the police officer, Patrick Okoli, who was unlawfully and compulsorily retired from the Nigerian police force. So
this case has lingered for 11 years.
Yeah.
2011.
And he wasn't IG then.
Exactly.
Because,
that is the office.
It's the office.
Right.
So, do you want him to go behind bars to set an example?
Well, it should follow. It should follow the. It should obey.
It should obey.
It should obey before complaining.
And resign.
Obey exactly.
Obey what?
The head of EFCC was also sentenced.
Yes, and he never.
Did you hear? Did you hear any story about?
But normally they are supposed to obey before the appeal.
Nothing is coming out of it.
Right.
This is Nigeria.
Tough.
Remember we have a guest here who said,
and
when you say this is Nigeria.
Yeah. She said something when we were talking about Tinubu aspect. When we were talking about the rumor that he said he's going to move the federal capital.
Yes,
you said
Lagos, yes.
You said there's a process.
Yes, there is
I said
a
this
process.
is Nigeria.
This is Nigeria.
Because some of the things that happened in Nigeria, we set the process aside.
Yes.
This is what
we do things by fiat.
Good.
Well, still on Tinubu, they said he's going to take a trip about 2 weeks.
No, by the weekend. Traveling.
Yes. There is going to travel to meet with the international community and tell them his intention on how he
to be the next president. On that note, Elizabeth, I think it's time for us to take a short break. When we return, we'll continue with the trending stories that are making rounds across the country. After the break, please stay with us.
Ways we can do in order to avoid problem. One of the ways is this: after voting, everybody should wait for INEC to announce the result. So it's part of the way that we
Hello viewers, still on the street again to know the people's view about the forthcoming general elections. Television Nigerians seek to know what they think about possible hindrances and solutions to free, fair and credible elections. Please stay with us.
There are a lot of things that we can do to make sure that this forthcoming election has been peaceful and free and fair. For me, we Nigerians already, our PVC is already awaiting. We are waiting for the day for election so that we can come and choose the right candidate that everybody is wishing to vote for. So there are a lot of ways we can do in order to avoid problem. One of the ways is this: after voting, everybody should wait for INEC to announce the result. So it's part of the way that we can await free and fair election. After voting, any candidate of our choice.
The advice that I will give to the fellow Nigerians is that we, the poor, we are the ones that are suffering. Their children will go, but before the election, they will take their children out. So we, the poor people, we are the ones that are suffering. So if you look for trouble during election, that you are supporting this party, PDP or APC or another party, you end up injuring yourself. Because their children are there, nothing concerns them with us. We will suffer ourselves by injuring ourselves. Them, later on, they will enjoy, whether they win the election or not. So it's our own now for us to decide whether we are going to be violent or we are not going to be. So we the poor, we're supposed to, as in, use our senses to vote the right person that will bring Nigeria up.
For this election to be, without violence, it's just for during the election, they will kind of bring money to buy food. So in case such thing come up, that will bring violence for the election, because they believe that the other party, they have already given them a nickname. They do call shishi, that they don't have shishi, they don't give shishi. If those party, they won't allow the opponent party to be buying vote with their money. So I think they should avoid that aspect. You understand? So that will really help for the election to be free and fair and to go peacefully.
We don't know what to say again, only to pray or to vote, to go and vote for our right. Don't wait for anybody to push you, go and vote this, go and vote that. You use your own right, just use your rights. What you have in your mind, just go and vote. Don't wait for another person to tell you, you must vote that person for Nigeria to be better. That is not what we want. Whether the person are Muslim or Christian, we just need the right person in this country because things are going wrong. We need Nigeria to be better again.
Going by the people's advice, electors should avoid vote buying, violence, and all the possible causes of chaos during the forthcoming general elections. Beauty Akbarido, Television, Nigeria.
Where is my camera? Welcome back. Thank you so very much for staying tuned. Keisha and Beauty are still here with me in the studio, and thanks Beauty for that vox pop that you went to the street seeking the opinion of the people. You heard the people, you heard what they had to say about vote buying. They are everybody. You can see that we all want 2023 to be successful. We want the elections to come successful. We, as much as possible, the electorates don't want to have anything to do with vote buying. That is why you see that they are counseling Nigerians, telling Nigerians not to get involved in it. Keisha, was it yesterday we talked about voters' apathy? Right. Okay, and these are some of the reasons. These are some of the reasons why you see that a lot of people deny, or rather refuse to associate themselves with voting. So I don't know, Keisha, what's your opinion once again, even as it's still trending, vote buying, the issues of vote buying in Nigeria, and how much we want the 2023 election not to go wrong?
Well, I don't know the angle. I'll
take it from any angle.
Because for me, I was with young people yesterday. In fact, I think there were like 3 ladies who said any political party that comes with money now and give to them, they are ready to vote for such a person because of what they go through. Now, it's as a result of a pregnant woman who returns from the market and called the neighbors. That was yesterday. I called the neighbors and said, you people should come out and see the rice I bought. And guess what? Say it was how many thousands. And the rice cannot even take them to Christmas. And the husband gave money for Christmas rise because they know that getting closer to the period is going to be more expensive.
By tomorrow December the market will change.
So you look at what Nigerians are up, and the leaders know that, okay, this is what they are going through, is being weaponized, so this is what we can use. You just give them money. We remember that the trending studio, the video that trended like few months back, will speak the language they will understand. Give them money.
Right.
You understand? For me, I made up my mind. Apart from being a media person, I made up my mind. I don't need your money to elect. I know you in person. If I don't like you, even if my vote is not going to count, I want to vote my conscience. I want to vote my leader.
Right.
I want to vote that person with a political ideology that not, okay, is going to give me a job. It's going to give me freedom of speech as a media personnel.
Right.
It's going to give me freedom of movement. It's going to give me, in fact, it's going to give me the rule of law. When I turn, I want to see the quality of the law. I want to see a law that has to do with me, not them. No, so that should be my candidate.
Beauty, you were the one in the streets. So
Exactly.
From what you gathered, what's your view, personal view?
I think personally, I am impressed with the people's view, actually. As a matter of fact, on the street, the few persons I interviewed, most of them, majority of them, in fact, were against vote buying. And I'm actually impressed with that. And I advise too, please, Nigerians, as you have said so, I don't know how many of them are still getting ready to go sell their votes. But for the few ones I interviewed yesterday, were seriously against vote buying. And they talked so much about how peaceful and coherent we can organize ourselves in order to achieve a peaceful election.
Right.
And I think I stand for that.
Elizabeth, I have a different feeling because I believe Nigerians are poor. Like you said, poverty has been weaponized.
Yes.
When you go to the hinterland, I come from a state that is far, far, far away from the center, Adamawa State. And, there are areas, flashpoint areas where people live in abject poverty.
Right.
Where some of the political parties cannot even reach. So the political parties that have the resources to go there will go there and they will buy votes. People are ready to sell their votes in villages. I am not a pessimist. I'm highly optimistic that 2023 will make the difference and it will come and it will go. We'll have a brand new president, God willing. But people will still buy their votes. Not only that, not only poor people will sell their votes. There are institutions that are ready, heads of institutions that are ready to sell their votes. Let me give you an example. I'm not, saying this is exactly what I know that will happen, but an institution that is the only person for now that is giving one of the major political parties headache is the INEC National Chairman, Mamu Yakubu. He has reiterated it and said it time without number. And he wants to leave a good name. He's a Hausa man. He's a northerner. He doesn't want his name to be rubbish, to be dragged to the mud. He wants to leave a legacy. Unlike the other INEC, people that left, Mahmoud Jega came and left a bar. This man came and raised the bar. With the beavers, he's working assiduously to ensure that the system is not compromised. But if you remember, even his workers, some of them are even behind bars today. Some are even facing prosecution for compromising, and it's pecuniary. They collected money. So heads of institutions, there are plans to make them compromise, to turn a blind eye, so that everything.
But do you think Mahmoud Yakubu's determination to ensure a credible election is enough?
Yeah, it's more than enough, but it's more
there
than
are
enough.
other factors that play.
He's playing.
There are other factors that are played.
That's why I'm saying
Yeah.
institutions. Okay, we have the armed forces, we have the Air Force, we have the Army, we have the Navy, we have the police, we have the DSS. If they choose to compromise, then the election will be compromised.
We have the traditional rulers.
Yes, we have traditional rulers. Okay, how would they compromise? Let me give you an example. We have 178,000 polling units spread across the country. Now, each political party will need a minimum of 2 agents to send to that. So replicate 2 agents times the number of the polling units we have, 187,000 polling units spread across the country. Some of them in flashpoints. And policemen will not even go there because there's no guarantee they will come back alive.
Yeah.
But there is a particular political party that has a presence there. The one of the party that has brought some kind of revolution will tell you that people are their structure, that they are ready to die there. These the young people that I'm talking about, the obedient, they will not go to those villages because their parents will not allow them to go. Like in Sokoto now, which young man will go to Sokoto? Even the Sokoto indigenous, the young ones are coming back to a place like Abuja, for greener pasture, if I can put it that way. So they won't be there. But during election, they will go back. Those political parties are ready to buy their votes, and people are ready to sell them.
To sell.
Yes, because there's poverty. They have weaponized poverty intentionally.
But it's sad, actually.
It is sad.
From what I've been hearing from Nigerians lately, I've been thinking that maybe they are now wise based on the hardship experiences so far. Yeah,
you live in the urban center, and that's where you get your news.
Exactly.
You live here, that's where you get your news. There are people who don't know where the next meal will come from. And you come as an agent. The political party that has managed to send you there gives you 2,000 naira. Someone is coming. I've contested an election before, and I know what my agent did to me. At a polling unit, I was winning. A PDP stalwart came. They all knelt down and to greet the man. He asked them what was going on. They said, this person, this young journalist from NTA is winning. He now said, okay, police, how many are you? They mentioned their number. He gave them their own. Agents, they said my agent was the first to go and collect on behalf of agents. So he turned a blind eye and they did what they wanted. But at that time, there was no beavers. It was 2011. They were using incident form. And I got 0 votes. Me that I was winning already. But they gave me 0 votes. So, and these things, Nigerians, these are old politicians that know how to read. That is why they're there. Some of them said it's their turn. Some of them have remained resolute that they must be president.
Like you have rightly stated, in the urban areas, yes, there could be a high level of
civility. Yeah.
Yes, but in those rural areas,
that's where the rigging takes place.
So, does it mean that the vote buying and vote selling is like a bitter pill that we still have to be swallowing as at now?
I'm seriously afraid.
Well, it's just like what Macaulay said. That is a bitter truth regarding the vote buying. There are people that are ready to sell their votes. There are people that are ready to buy the votes. A man who comes up here, just call a politician up here and have him as your guest and ask him his opinion on vote buying. He will condemn it in totality. But he is actually, as he's condemning it, he has the money for the vote, to buy the votes in his pocket. And when he walks out of the studio, that is exactly what he's going to do.
He will buy INEC.
He will buy.
Forget it. If you think if you think you have conscience, it's not everybody that has conscience.
Have you heard
buy
of
INEC, you buy the returning officer, you buy the rec, you buy rec.
Online
vote buying.
Have you heard of it?
I've heard of it. Online vote buying.
In a modernized way.
Yes. See, Elizabeth, it may interest you to know that the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress has been in the system for a long time. Shetima has been governor, he's a current senator. They insisted on Muslim ticket. They know the implication. They know about beavers. They know about Mamun Yakubu. They appointed him. They retained him, so to speak. They know about it. So there is a plan. There is a strategy. It's not about making noise on social media. No. We are all obedient. We are going to... They know that there will be resistance, but they are insisting on the same fake ticket. People like us that are Christians from the north are not happy with that kind of decision, yet they have continued with it. Don't you think there is something beyond what we think?
At this point, there is no going back as far as...
Well, there's a going back from the aspect of the electorate.
The people.
Yeah, push it back to their face and say, no,
exactly.
We cannot resist your opinion. We cannot resist your... we cannot resist. We don't have the power. We don't have the resources to stop the Muslim ticket. But we can use the power that we have our terms to really say that is not good enough for Nigerians.
We watch and see how it unfolds. What
see what's happening in Lagos.
Yes.
The huge turnout for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And young people dominated it.
Right.
So there's a division amongst young people. Yes, on the social media, you will think the obedient group are holding sway.
Yeah, but my colleague, can I just break in? I have a report a few weeks back when there was a rally, APC rally. There was something wrong with that rally.
Yes.
Where every young person in Lagos market, all the markets in Lagos, they were shot.
They were shot, yes.
They were given an order that nobody is allowed. Make sure that everybody, and of course, see what is happening. If you were given such an order, it's undemocratic. It's unconstitutional.
So it's for you to refuse to attend the rally.
Good.
You can close their shop and stay at home.
And stay back at home.
Stay back at
so
home.
if we go by the number of persons, there are some people who are there. But the question Nigerians need to ask themselves: how well is Nigeria going to be after selling my votes?
Exactly.
So if you sell your vote today, better don't complain.
Do you know the youngest youth leader in all the political parties is in PDP? He's in his 20s.
Right.
He's the youngest youth leader. So if young people, the implication of what I'm saying is that if young people can come together and galvanize and mobilize themselves, they will replicate what they did in Big Brother Nigeria by giving Lekon 3 million votes for him to win.
Okay,
are they ready? Some people will tell you yes, we are ready because of a fixated interest. They will tell you we are ready. It's not by mouth.
It's not by mouth.
But that's why I said this frontline politicians are insisting on this same ticket. They know their strategy.
Okay, since we are still talking politics, there are two things I want us to join together. Okay. To round up this politics segment. First, Donald Duke, former governor of Cross River State, came out and complained about his old photograph that was being
used as in a documentary.
Yes, that's one. Then secondly, what's the
I think you should go to court.
At the Arise Town Hall debate third edition. It's I think on Sunday.
Yes.
And the All Progressive Congress.
The Tinubu group has already insisted.
Yes, they have come out to say that they will not attend if the Labour Party Peter Obi does not provide his manifesto.
Yes.
Please,
that's what they are saying. Festus Keyamo is the chief spokesperson of the All Progressives Congress, and he has made it abundantly clear. It came out yesterday that their presidential candidate will not have a debate with the Labour Party candidate that has galvanized youths, creating some kind of revolution, political revolution, so to speak. And they are insisting that the Labour Party presidential candidate has to come out with the manifesto and make it public before they can have any debate with him.
How does that work? How does it concern?
I think it's a ploy to avoid appearing before the media.
We Nigerians should be the one to tell the Labour Party candidate, where is your manifesto? Provide it, tell it to us. Tell us, not a fellow political party. Exactly.
Yes, not a rival.
So I don't see how that Krisha, please say something about this.
Well, I can't really grab anything from it. Festus Keyamo, am I right?
Yes.
He's not a spokesperson for Nigerians. He's not a minister of information in Nigeria. So he's not. He doesn't have the right to tell Nigerians, okay, this is what we want. Let him speak for APC. Let him speak for the campaign organization of Asuwaju, and said, okay, we are not ready to come out. But again, the town hall meeting is not organized by APC. It's organized by a media house. So if you don't see the right to come on that town hall meeting,
take advantage.
In other words, you are telling us that you don't see anybody in Nigeria that deserves you to talk about. We're talking about a manifesto here. Which of the manifesto has the APC presented? How many pages of manifesto? Have we been able to take a synopsis of what that manifesto is?
Oh, they have presented a manifesto.
Good. If you have a manifesto, your campaign, your political ideology, the campaign promises should go in consent with what the manifesto is all about. And if it doesn't tally, which means that there is no need for somebody to scramble for that document to look for it. And I said something like that. Was it, when was that? I said something, I said, I cannot be reading a manifesto and the election comes and go. You introduce in fact they swear in the president, and we're still reading the manifesto of how many pages. You know.
All right, Tisha, thank you so much.
Before you come up with that, I was going to. We are talking about politics. I didn't want to just.
No, we are not done with the second one, with the photograph impersonation.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's been there for some days. I thought we just.
That's why I said. Donald should go to court.
Yeah, he should go to court.
He should go to court. Why is he making noise on social media?
A guy was being interviewed yesterday.
Yeah.
He said he was the representative of APC and Bola Ahmed Tinubu's campaign in the UK or so. I can't get his name right now. And he was being asked this question about this photograph issue. And he said it doesn't matter.
No, it matters.
It matters.
Really?
That person, he's not schooled.
What do you expect him to say?
He said,
if I'm holding
he
brief
said
for
how,
Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that's exactly what I would say.
What does that have to do with what they are talking
it's wrong.
about?
It's wrong for him to
It's wrong. That is
so.
impersonation.
Yeah.
And you said something that Donald Duck should go to the court.
Yeah,
that
he
is
should go to
the
court.
final
And
thing.
the
He needs to
interviewer
go to
was
the
like,
court.
what did you say? You said it doesn't matter? How would you say it doesn't matter?
No, it matters. It matters.
It matters.
He's portraying someone else's photograph. Identity.
If you are paid
That's
to work,
impersonation.
as a journalist, if you are paid to work for Bola Ahmed Tinubu as a media handler, that's exactly what you will say.
That's right.
And
The man is doing his
that's
job,
a
and it's
lie.
wrong.
That's a lie
No,
also.
it's a lie. It's a lie. If you are paid, see, as media handlers, we are paid to do all those things. You are paid to lie.
But is it correct?
Well, it's correct because you have accepted the job. Like Femi Adesina, what he tells Nigerians, he comes and call our bluff and things like that. They are paid to do a job. If you don't want to do it, don't accept it. So long as you have accepted it, that's exactly what you do. I was at SA Media, the chief press secretary to the governor. We tell all this. We don't call them lies.
Right.
We tell them that we say we're doing our job to make your principal look good before the eye of the public. That's all. And you are paid to do the job. If you want to do otherwise, then don't accept the job. But on the part of Donald Duck, the only available way for him is to go to court.
Go to the court.
Not to lament and complain and whine before the public. No.
But is that healthy for the society?
It is healthy.
It's healthy. It's healthy.
No,
It's left for the society.
Well, I really
choose.
don't think he wants to, because if he wanted to by now,
Well, you may not know this is politics, so
right.
politics
Okay.
they will have something. So I was going to raise two disturbing stories here. One regarding a young man that was arrested by
Aisha
Buhari, talking about Aminu. The story has it how he was arrested and tortured and was taken to Aso Rock and was also given he was given a phone. A security person actually gave him a phone, and he was ordered by the first lady to call his parents and talk to the parents.
Yes.
This is what is happening. They can do whatever they want to do. And beyond that story, few months back in February this year, we also have another report that we have. A 21-year-old Esther Isaac was taken to a hotel in Warimpa, so which was like a hookup or something of that nature. So along the line, she was with a male partner into that hotel. The hotel is Agate Hotel in Warimpa here in Abuja. That was in February. And along the line, she was killed in that hotel and her body was left there. And a few days later, the IPO, when the case got to the police, the IPO gave the younger brother 900,000 naira. 900,000 naira to transport the cops from Abuja to Cross River State. Now the question is, where is that money coming from? How far has that case been? Is it good enough that things should be done that way?
It's not
Who
good
gave
enough.
the IPO the money to give the brother 900,000 to transport the cops to Cross River State? And of course, we have the report, as of last night, a report came in that the mother who got depressed, right from that time till now, there's no way they can find the lady at this very point in time. So I don't know, these are two disturbing stories that I felt that, okay, we needed to,
Okay.
So,
we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll continue from what Keisha has already enumerated. But I'll be after the break. Please stay with us.
Television Nigerian is one of the leading giants in Nigeria's digital broadcasting. We deliver quality productions to clients from all sectors of life. We are experts in program streaming, event coverage, news reporting, adverts, documentaries, personality profiling, skits, and jingles. You can advertise now on Television Nigerian network platforms or sponsor programs like The Patriot, Spectacle, Business Daily, Security Dossier, and other programs. To publicize your business from ground state to the zenith, we have the capacity to introduce, promote, and publicize your businesses to increase patronage. We associate with quality to attract clients like you. Television Nigerian is your media solution.
This guy will bring people anyhow.
Hope, you're welcome back. This is still Daybreak Africa if you're just joining us on Television Nigeria. My name is still Macaulay Honohashi, and still with us in the studio are our impeccable presenters, your regular faces, your own regular faces, Keisha, Elizabeth, and Beauty. I call them delectable and adorable and smart Keisha. And Keisha, before we went on that short break, there's this trending story you enumerated.
Yeah, actually.
Elizabeth is mind-boggling.
He was talking about the student, right? That wrote.
Amino, who was arrested by
allegedly.
Allegedly arrested, and
the borders of.
According to the story report that came out yesterday, he narrated the ordeal, how he was given a phone by the security operative to call the parents and tell the parent what is happening here. You know, so that is up to now. He's been
in detention,
and we feel that we need to speak up regarding that and find out why things are still the way they are right now. Then,
I feel bad. But without, you see, there are stories. The story has to do with a picture of the president's wife. He juxtaposed it with that of the current one. The picture, he took a picture of 2015.
2015 before he got before they got into
and before they got into office with her president. And he also did mention that our leaders have this penchant of flaunting their wealth and success on social media
achievements.
There's this picture of hers, with her children graduating in one of the foreign universities, and it didn't go down well with her and her people. So it was alleged that she gave the directive for his arrest.
But are we sure that she was actually the one that gave the directive? To get him arrested.
Well, at this point, everything that happens should be, connected to her because
it is her picture.
Because it was about her.
It's about her. So even if she's not in the picture, if the directive is not from her, she has the right to say these stories that are coming out is not hidden. It's on social media, it's on the newspapers. So she has the right to say, where is that story coming from? Come out and tell Nigerians that is what. And one of the things that happen in Nigeria is that our leaders don't owe us any responsibility to explain anything to us. And look at USA. It's like every day you hear the president speak on every issue.
Every issue.
There was a shootout in school. Someone was, there was a shootout in school. Before the president comes out to address the country and say, okay, these are the measures taken to make sure that such thing, is addressed. A lot of stories, So Nigerian leaders feel that they don't owe us any explanation.
And I think that's because Nigerians don't ask questions as well.
Nigeria asks questions.
We ask questions.
We ask questions.
What we're doing now is part of the asking.
Media alone. The questions we generate from media, we interrogate. Should be able to put us.
Now, what is happening to Aminu? All media houses are interrogating. Why should he be facing this kind of a problem? Because of a
picture. I actually saw that picture. Where he brought in Buhari and the family in 2015.
Yes, I also saw it.
Then Buhari and the family in 2022. And there were other reactions, or people were asking, is it the reason why you came to Aso Rock? Because nothing good has actually come
that's
from
trended.
That has been the trending story. Then we talk about the next story where we talk about Esther Isaac, a lady, a 21-year-old lady who was in Abuja here, and she was carried by a young man to one of these hotels,
yes.
Agete hotels in Gwarimpa. That was in February. And along the line, she was killed in that hotel.
That story. Yeah, I remember that story.
She was killed in that hotel. And fast forward to when the corpse was to be taken to Cross River State, where the state of her origin. You know, the report has it that the IPO gave the younger brother to the deceased, 900,000 naira to transport the corpse from here to Cross River State. And the mother got depressed getting that news, and she's nowhere to be found as we are talking this morning. Now the question is, how did the IPO, the police officer, raise 900,000 for the younger brother of the deceased to transport the corpse without the law taking its full course, carry out investigation to tell the public what the story is all about?
Someone will tell you this is Nigeria.
Yeah.
And you say you don't like to hear that.
Sad.
We had a guest here who said he doesn't want to hear this is Nigeria.
Right.
We have a peculiarity. Right. Before you know it, this issue, the entire debacle will be swept under the
Nigerian
carpet.
factor.
Nigerian factor.
But this is making a mess of us as a country.
It's not making, it has.
It has. We're already in a mess. We're struggling to see what happens.
Kisha, there's a story on the heels of that.
Struggling.
This the Labour Party woman leader in Kaduna State.
Yeah,
Kaduna
that was
State,
killed.
Yeah, that was killed.
Very sad.
And her husband also seriously, injured.
Yes,
he's recuperating in the hospital. And she's the woman leader of
the Labour Party.
Labour Party.
Yeah.
By unknown gunmen.
You know, when we talk about violence in campaign violence, that's what we're talking about, because from the story, it's like a story of an assassination.
It is assassination.
Yes, she was like targeted and
eliminated.
Why go to that extent?
Because
of politics.
Why do you take somebody's life for political?
Is it really
for political reason? But it's worrisome, and as a matter of fact,
very worrisome.
I feel very bad, particularly as a woman.
Yeah, because it's one of the reasons why we see women back off.
Exactly, like we no longer have a voice in the society, or what? We can speak as women.
Speaking.
Well, it's not just the women.
The first time
it's not just the women. It's not just the women. We're in this all together. We become victims
Maybe
of
I'm
someone's
from the female
negligence.
gender.
You're right. No, that was the first thing that came to me too.
You should be speaking for all of us.
Yeah, we are victims of someone's negligence. We are victims of the system that crept into the perfect unity that would have been, enjoyed by all Nigerians. We are talking about the woman killed. How about the people killed that you don't know? How about people, supporters of different political parties? You go to Lagos. We are talking about Lagos today to be the way it is. Do you know how many people were arrested as a result of putting on only a campaign T-shirt? A woman was, stripped naked because she was putting on one of these obedient T-shirts in Lagos. And one of these young guys was beaten because he was carrying the obedient flag. So these are some of the stories that keep on, flaunting out from. It's heartbreaking.
It is really, but the reason why I had to take it from the women angle, Kisha, is because, all along we've been advocating for women inclusion in government, women inclusion and all that.
In politics
and all that. But for one reason or the other, you see cases of women being shot down either for through killings or however. But I just want to assume that it's an oppression on the part of the women.
No, it's not about women. That's what I said. It's not about women here. It's not about women. We have a lot of women in that very system, the corrupt system we are talking about, that is operating today. There are so many women in that system.
You're
we
right,
are talking about the president's wife, Aisha Buhari. She's a woman. And she is part of what we are talking about today. We look at some of these people who goes around and make for everything that happens. The men that carries out all this, they have wives, and their wives are also aware of what the husbands are doing.
Yeah.
So it's not focusing on women, because there are women part of the system. It may not be ideal to really look at and just pick them one after the other, but we have women who don't even care about what other women are going through in Nigeria. They don't even speak up for you.
Absolutely.
There's this story that is trending
Right.
away from that emotional story.
Yeah, emotional indeed.
Yes.
Yeah, emotional
And the Chief
indeed.
Justice of Nigeria, Olukayode Arola, he said on Monday that Nigeria is the most litigious country on earth. We love litigation. We love filing cases.
Filing
in
cases,
court.
yeah.
And he buttressed his point by saying that, that during the 2021-2022 legal year alone, the Supreme Court took a total of 1,764 cases, comprising motions and appeals. That is mind-boggling. We love litigations. And he broke down the court cases heard to 816 civil, 370 criminal, 16 political matters, making a total of 1,202 cases. To my mind, for a Chief Justice of this country to say Nigeria is the most litigious, we love cases, we love challenging ourselves, we love going to courts, and then we don't accept defeat, during elections. You know that you have lost election. The lawyers will encourage you to spend money and to file cases on your behalf at the court, up to Supreme Court. Like in my state of Adamawa State, the former drug czar of Nigeria, Malam Nuhu Rubadu, lost election against Aisha Tubinani, a sitting senator. He took her to the tribunal, and then the tribunal annulled the election. So she appealed, and then got the judgment at the appeal court last week. Now the guy is moving to Supreme Court. And this is just a microcosm of similar cases across the country. To me, it shouldn't be that way. So what is really giving us room for that is the gap in the Constitution that allows us to continue to file cases and file cases and file cases. And our judiciary, people say, is one of the most corrupt institutions in the country, next to police. They deceive people. They collect money to file cases on your behalf, knowing that you are not going to win the case yet.
Yeah, but that's law.
That's why they said
you said a while ago that the representatives or the spokespersons that they are doing their job. So the lawyers are doing their job. Right. So
but could it be that it's getting worse? Because sometimes I jokingly ask question if we actually still have judiciary.
We have judiciary. It's getting worse.
It's there, but I think they need the autonomy is vital.
Hardly do our
so that they can be on their own and they run
the
system of themselves. Yes, that's Nigeria.
Hardly do our politicians accept defeat.
It's part of Nigerian politics. They hardly do.
Well, what he's saying, I don't know if he was in the U.S. where Jonathan Lee has the highest case filed in the world, a young man.
Yes, Jonathan Lee.
Yeah, record had even a Guinness Book of Records. But the day the Guinness Book of Records, they called him that this is what the records they have. He sued them.
Okay.
He added another again.
Another suit, yes.
Yeah, sued them why they were,
adding up to what he has in the Guinness Book of Records.
So a TV television invited him on the show to ask him how far you've gone to over 2,000 something as an individual, file cases of that nature. He stood up from there and sued the television. Why are they getting into his space? Those kind of things. So a society where we love law and order, we should be looking out for more cases because nobody is ready to take the laws into his hands. That is what I'm just thinking. So I don't know, for me, I'm just looking out for we have a 62 senior advocate of Nigeria added to the system already. The question is that what are they going to do different from what others corrupt judges are doing already?
We'll watch and see. Yeah. We'll watch and see. Yeah, the cases, my view is only if they will conclude them. They should not leave cases hanging.
But don't forget, there are some cases that are not even cases. There are some cases you just need to pull away. So somebody, you have the case doesn't have merits. You just pull them out. Don't allow them make up the numbers and be giving us such figures.
Well, viewers, you've heard it from all of us here in the studio. And this is the size of our package. I must call it a day. And Kisha,
Thank you so much for staying with us. Looking forward to having you again tomorrow for another edition.
Ms. Delectable.
Thank you so much for staying tuned with us, and we shall see you in December. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Miss Adorable.
Thanks for being there. I'm Beauty Akbarido.
Well, my name is Macaulay Hunahashi, but I will leave you with this quote from a great Greek philosopher, Plato, who once said, if you do not take an action in the affairs of your government, then you are doomed to be under the rule of fools. Take action in the affairs of your government, get involved. On behalf of everyone that has made this program a success, I say, please stay blessed and bye-bye for now.